Hello, storytellers. Welcome back to Storytelling Tarot. This is Jeida K. Story. Thank you so much for coming back to visit my channel. And if this is the first time, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. It is not by accident that you clicked on this video, and I'm just honored to be here to serve as a gentle guide. Today, we are looking at your April tarot predictions. We're going to look at the energies, the things that you can expect, and some things that you can just be looking out for and focusing on for the month ahead. If you are someone who likes to look a little deeper into your April 2023, I have a full playlist for all of the astrological signs, which is a part of a larger live that I do monthly where we look at all of the goodness that's coming toward you for the month ahead. So if you're interested in that, then watch the playlist so you can watch for your sun, moon, or rising sign or any other prominent placements in your chart that is available to you as well. And if you're someone who would like to have a one-on-one reading with me, all of that information will be available to you in the description box below. And I would love the opportunity to sit with you. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our reading today. As always, we have three piles to choose from. You have chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. So if anything is sticking out to you, any pile, then go ahead and make your selection. You can click on the timestamps in the description box to go right to your pile. If more than one pile is calling to you, then maybe there is more than one message. So I recommend that you watch both. All right, without further ado, let's get into chapter 1. Hello, Chapter 1. Welcome to your April Tarot predictions. Let's look at some of the energies. We're going to start with the card on the table, which is going to be the overall theme for your month ahead. Then we're going to pull some extra tarot cards just to get an idea of what else you can expect. And then we're going to look at some other things. So buckle up. Let's get into it. The overall theme for you is the Chariot. And this particular, I'm going to pull this up. This particular deck is represented by, it's called the Nomad. And so by now, you know, if you are someone who watches my channel often, I talk about this at least once a week. We are in the year of the Chariot, meaning that our 2023 is a universal year 7. And so if we correlate that to the tarot, then we're looking at the 7th card in the major arcana. And so what this tells me for you, chapter 1, is that you are focused on forward motion. You're focusing on progressing. You're getting closer to your goals this particular month. You're moving at a space, at a pace, and at a focus that is comfortable. What I'm hearing is that it's a pace that you have set for yourself. And so what that tells me is that you've been doing some boundary work, and you've been doing in the previous months leading up to April, you have been really focusing on lightening your load so that you can take off at a safe speed that feels good to you, where you don't feel like, it's funny, as I'm speaking to you, I just saw a picture of like someone who, I don't know if you've ever been like on a road trip, or maybe you moved a far distance, and you might have had like lots of boxes and luggage in your car, and you're trying to drive, but you have like one hand out to the side of you trying to hold boxes and bags and keep them from falling all over the place. And so I just, I think about a car that's rattling, that has all this extra luggage, just keeping the car heavy, and, breakable things that are kind of crashing around. And so what I feel for you, my chapter 1s, is that leading up into this month, you have been doing the work of lightening the load, of making sure that everything that you need is strapped down and tight. That can be your relationships, that can be your spiritual values, that can be just like an action plan, so that you know exactly where you're going. And the lightening of the load means that you have been practicing, like I said, those boundaries. You have been facing some difficult things, or I will say not difficult, but some confronting conversations with people. And if not, that is going to be what you're going to be doing this month ahead. You're going to be doing what is necessary to make sure that your path ahead is unencumbered, unhindered, without any detours or any distractions that might keep you from the work that you are focused on right now. So that is your main message. Let's see what else we can get for you for the remainder, what other messages we have coming in for you for the month. Right before this, I was listening to gospel music, and the song that's coming to me as I'm shuffling for you, chapter 1, is "Firm Foundation." So I am hearing that and wanting to ask you, what are the foundations that you set for yourself? Are you finding that you're having to actually like go back and kind of reset? And it's almost like this is what I saw. It's like, you know how you have, like, sand is really hard to walk on. Like sand at a beach is really hard to walk on, when it's loose, and it's just like, your feet kind of sink in. But when you pack sand down, it becomes hard, and it's more compact, and you can walk on it because the foundation is firm. And so that's what I'm seeing for y'all when it comes to firm foundations. I feel like this month you all are doing the work to ensure that the foundation that you set is firm and steady and ready for what you're ready to build upon it. Let's look at your cards. You have the Lovers, the Six of Swords, wow, the Three of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. Yeah, chapter 1. This is exactly what I was thinking. So, some of the things that you're needing to look at, some of the things that you're needing to reconsider or to ensure are stable for you, that feel good to you, that are helping you move to your best and toward your best and highest good, is going to come up when in relationships. And so the Lovers is speaking about choices. The Lovers is speaking about moving, you having a voice and you having the agency, you choosing what works for you and what doesn't. And so as we're talking about, and what's interesting too is the Lovers is the 6th card in the major arcana, and your main card is the 7. So this is like prerequisite work. Like I was saying, is you getting prepared to lighten your load. And so with you having the 6 of the Lovers, and you also have the 6 of Swords, we're talking about you bringing harmony to situations that may have been out of balance. And so when it comes to relationships, specifically chapter 1, it feels like some of the load that you're lightening will be some of those connections that are not aligned, some of the connections that just, it's not even that they don't feel good. That's not what I'm getting. Like, I'm not getting toxic energy. It feels like sometimes, when it comes to moving away from certain people, it's not that it's because something's wrong with the relationship or that they're not for your best and highest good. Sometimes people just grow apart. What I'm actually like hearing is that for some of y'all this month ahead, some of you are actually moving, and some of you are actually moving away from people that you love and who love you. And so the lightening of the load doesn't even feel like, it doesn't feel like it's a bad thing. It doesn't feel like, breakups or things like that. What it feels like is, that there's some place that you have to go. That there's some place something that you are called to do. And it may be in a location that is far away from your loved ones, but it feels like you're ready to take the move. It feels like you're ready to make that forward motion. And as you do that, as you move away, as you move toward what is calling you, toward what you're building, we see that you make progress with the Three of Pentacles here. The Three of Pentacles speaking about building and achievement. It's also about you thriving in your giftings, chapter 1. So even if there's some difficulty and some sadness in separating from certain people, or even separating from a job or a course of study, moving away from one thing, it seems like it's really helping you thrive someplace else, especially because we have the Queen of Wands here. The Queen of Wands to me is speaking about, not only is it speaking about you feeling grounded in your creativity and your magic and all of what that is blooming in your life. It also feels like you also like having some type of leader or mentor who is assisting you now as you make these transitions, because that's exactly what's happening. This is a transitional phase for you, my chapter ones, but you're moving towards some place of purpose and of power. And that feels like that is really beautiful to see. Let's get some clarifiers out here, and then we will move on to some prediction cards. Let's see. For the lovers, we have the Six of Wands. Another six. Another six. There's definitely like spirit is like conspiring to bring that harmony in your life, and also like there's opportunity for healing here. There's opportunity for healing with all of these sixes on the table for you, my chapter ones. I love to see that. Let's get the rest of the cards out and then we'll talk. Okay, Six of Swords is clarified by the Ten of Swords. We have the Three of Pentacles is clarified by the Eight of Swords, and the Queen of Wands is clarified by Temperance. Okay, so what I'm seeing, okay, with the Six of Wands, it feels like, honestly, with the lovers here, and with when I was talking about choice and you having to like choose where you go, who you go with, it feels like you're supported in this. It really feels like you're supported in this chapter one. So it seems like whoever your community is, that they celebrate you, that they want to see you thrive. And I actually think that they're probably part of the folks who are pushing you toward your future and what it is that you desire for yourself. And that's a really good thing. Like I said, it didn't feel like you were separating from people because they were toxic or because they were, harmful. It just feels like instead they're pushing you out of your comfort zone and helping you pursue that which you've been dreaming about. The Six of Swords is clarified by the Ten of Swords, which is pointing to the end of an era. And like it also is saying, like, don't overthink the next step. Don't overthink by trying to move 3, 4, 5, 6 steps ahead. Just focus on the very next step. What is the next aligned step rather than what is all the other things. The swords representing our thoughts and our words. And so sometimes we can overthink a thing. Sometimes we can talk ourselves out of something. And so Spirit is saying, like, don't resist that urge. Resist the urge. Know that you're coming to an end, and it's a necessary end, because it's going to bring you to a place of where you can build, where you can begin to shine and fully begin to step into your power. Then you have the Three of Pentacles, which is clarified by the Eight of Swords. And so as we're talking about work and what it is that you're moving toward, you're building something, you are beginning to collaborate maybe with some of y'all are moving to a new job where you may be going to a new team, where some of you may even be leading a team. And so we have to be mindful of the Eight of Swords, right? The Eight of Swords is that feeling of feeling like trapped or feeling like incapable. And so those swords sometimes can keep us stuck because we are feeling less powerful than we actually are. But chapter one, you are the Queen of Wands. And so what's grounding this reading, and the Queen of Wands specifically, is temperance. And so you know that you're moving towards something. You know that you're moving towards success. You know that there's progress being made. There's forward motion. But I think what's going to ground you and keep you is the temperance card. And temperance is knowing how much is enough. You don't want to overwork yourself in the Three of Pentacles. You don't want to overthink with the Ten of Swords. You want just enough. What information is necessary for you to take the next step? Rather than thinking about the next 10 steps, what do you need that's right in front of you? How can you kind of balance out that energy so that you're not overexerting yourself and you're not keeping yourself frozen because of anxiety or fear? All right, let's look at a couple of other cards here to see what else is coming toward you in the month of April. That one is drawing my eye. We have change. Yeah, change is coming for you. And I think that you probably sense this. And I want you to know that the changes that I see are beautiful. The only thing that I see that you may have to be mindful of will be like the Ten of Swords and the Eight of Swords, where there may be overthinking, there may be some questioning, there may be like a fear of moving forward or fear of showing up in your power. And so the change, is important too. The change is represented by 5, and so is the Temperance card. 1 + 4 = 5. And so that is the energy that's going to really ground you and keep you in flow, is that Temperance. And then you also have rebirth. You're changing chapter 1. You're being made into, like I said, I saw some of y'all rising to some type of leadership. So you may be leading a team or, leading a team is what I saw. And so as you are going through this change, as you are being reborn into this beautiful leader, into this beautiful creative person, I want you to feel encouraged. I want you to feel empowered and ready. This is really beautiful. It's a beautiful read. I want to pull 2. Let's see what your focus is. No, actually, we'll do that last. Let's look at some prediction cards for you. Let's get like three prediction cards for my chapter 1s. Okay. So you have my chapter 1s. You have problems to be resolved. You need to defend yourself, and you have someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. All right, so chapter 1, I'm going to be honest with you. The mule kind of feels like you, not to be offensive, but being unwilling to change, it feels like this swords energy. Specifically the 10 of Swords when it comes to the 6 of Swords, that it is clarifying. Try to resist the urge, like I said, to overthink it and to keep yourself frozen. Because Spirit is ready for you to, Spirit is ushering you into a new era, into a new season. And even as the seasons change here I'm in North America, so even as the seasons are changing from winter into spring, it is time for you to flourish. And so if you feel like you're just not ready, I think that the secret is going to be the lovers, the people who see you and know you and love you and can remind you of who you are. So if you are resonating with this message, I want you to say, I am ready to change. Like drop me a comment. Say, I'm ready for change. I'm ready for change. So you also have problems to be resolved. So I feel like eventually, you're going to accept it. I know you are, because we have the Queen of Wands. We see what you grow into. We see you in your power. And then you have you need to defend yourself. You need to defend yourself. This to me points back to the 8 of Swords, where the 8 of Swords is someone who feels like they're powerless, but they're really not. So I want you to rise in your power. I want you to rise in your power, because as you do that, look at who you become, the mighty Queen of Wands. Ain't nobody stepping to the Queen of Wands. So you just have to admit whether or not you are ready for change. All right, so let's look at what your focus is for the month, and then we'll go ahead and close out. Okay. All right, let's see here. Spirit, what's the focus? This one's coming up to me. It's the compassion key. This is the focus for you, chapter 1's for the month. It says, do not let shame or fear hold your pleasure hostage. The compassion key unlocks a need to be more gentle with yourself. Have you been shoving painful emotions aside and then finding them encroaching on your good feelings? Remind yourself that you deserve pleasure, tenderness, and compassion from yourself first. Have a day to be present with your painful emotions and examine them at the root, but also spice up your self-intimacy with more time, care, and affection. Focus on making your healing manifest by coming into existence, and then continue to be present with the unpleasant energies that need to be transmuted as time goes on. You'll find that the better you get at feeling in general, the more manageable your feelings become so that you can still be present with pleasure. That is so important for you all, especially as you are going through change. The feelings, that is what is coming up very strongly for the Ten of Swords and the Eight of Swords, is not that you don't know that you're destined for greatness, but all of the feelings of whether or not this is the right time, whether or not you're ready, whether or not you're capable, all of those feelings are very valid, chapter 1. But you are headed in the right direction because you've already been doing some of this work. You've already been doing some of the preparation. And so now all you have to say is, I am ready for change, and believe it. All right, my chapter 1s, I hope that was helpful for you. Have a beautiful, beautiful month ahead, and we will see you next time. Hello, my chapter 2s. Welcome to your April Tarot Predictions reading. I am so excited to get into this with you. So we're going to start with the card that's on the table. It's going to be like the overarching theme for your month ahead. Then we're going to pull some extra cards and look at some predictions and just some overall themes that you can be thinking about, focusing on, and using as a guide for your month ahead. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's see what we have. You have the Hoodoo Man, which would be the Emperor. Actually, let's leave right here for now. This month, chapter 2, I feel like you all are going to be, like, the first thing that's coming to my mind is there's more than one way to solve a problem. It feels like you're going to be needing or receiving assistance in dealing with some issues and some concerns. You're going to find some resolutions this month. These will be issues that are going to be concerning the family, concerning work, because the Emperor helps us to find the organization and the order that we need in order to thrive in these areas of life, navigating systems and powers. And also, the 4 represents family. And so that is what we're dealing with in April chapter 2. You are focusing on ways to build safety and security, not only around yourself and in your relationships, but also around your work. When I say get your house in order, that can be literal. That can be like actually like cleaning the home, doing some spring cleaning. That can be clearing out your office. That can be like packing away and like removing books that you don't need anymore, donating clothes. It can even be like cleaning out your phone. Like there's something about cleaning out things, but I even see some people working on their budget, some people working on their finances and getting a clear idea of like a plan for this next quarter of the year. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from this card initially. We're going to pull some more cards to see what else there is. But I wonder how many people in this circle in this chapter, I'm sorry, I wonder how many people in this chapter are have Cancer placements, because this reminds me a lot of what I was saying for Cancer in their Tell Me Something Good reading. So you might want to check that out. If you're a Cancer, then, and even if you're not, I still think that because this card is coming up again, even if you're not a Cancer, I think that it might be beneficial for you to watch that reading. So let's get some more cards on the table. Let's see, Spirit, what else is in store for my chapter 2s? Okay. So we have the High Priestess, the Five of Cups, the Ten of Swords, the Four of Cups. Okay. Yeah, this whole spread just really feels like that spring cleaning energy that I was saying from the beginning. The High Priestess leading this spread as this all-wise person, this seer who has access behind the veil, right? The High Priestess being a gatekeeper. The High Priestess being someone who has access to the spiritual realm while being here on the earthly plane. And so that feels purposeful for this month, because you are going to need wisdom, chapter 2, as you are doing some of this spring cleaning. As I mentioned, a lot of practical things, and it makes sense because the hoodoo man or the emperor, the four, can speak to us about practicality. But the High Priestess is speaking to us about spiritual things. And so with this context, some of your spring cleaning is going to be cleansing spiritually, clearing things out of your spiritual field. Like, it's giving some of y'all need to take spiritual baths on a regular basis, like introducing this into a regular ritual for yourself. It's actually giving some of y'all might benefit from like a cut and clear bath, because we have the Five of Cups and the Ten of Swords. And the Five of Cups is talking to us about like loss, right? It's talking to us about being rid of something. Maybe we loved it, or maybe we were just attached to it, or maybe something was attached to us. But Spirit is saying here with the Ten of Swords, this is about to come to an end. And it feels like for a lot of you, it feels like it might be a little raw for some of y'all, or make you feel raw. Because it feels like, sometimes I think that we, especially for those who are familiar with what a cut and clear bath is, it is a bath with the intention to remove connections and attachments, right? A lot of times people use them as they're moving through breakups. But it feels like for you, when I say get your house in order, chapter 2, it feels like for y'all, you are on the precipice of an elevation spiritually. And so the cutting and clearing doesn't feel like relationships per se. It may be for some of you. That may be like what's on the outer layer, but what I'm sensing is that down on the deep, like down underneath the surface, Spirit is actually just trying to get to you. And Spirit is actually wanting you to sever or be severed from all of the ideas around what you think you know. Because it feels like there are certain lessons, there are certain gifts, there are certain ideas, creativity, and even more connections that Spirit wants to hand you that you are unaware of because you have certain attachments. That's why the spring cleaning is coming. That's why it's here. That is your focus. And so the hoodoo man or the emperor is here to bring order. Let's get some more cards out here. Let's get some clarifiers to see what else Spirit has to say regarding what I've seen so far. Let's see. Okay, we have the Five of Pentacles. We have the Death card. We have the Six of Swords. And we have the Ace of Cups. Yeah. It's It's exactly what I was saying. Chapter 2. You are the spring cleaning is going to be actually you. Not to say that you won't be doing some of those other practical things. I think that you probably will, and you can. Um, Especially because as we cleanse ourselves, as we are becoming refreshed spiritually, it makes us want to do that in our spaces as well. So I recommend it. But it feels like Spirit is trying to get to you. Spirit wants to give you something. It's interesting too because in chapter 1, and it may be you might benefit from watching chapter 1's reading because they also had the 10 of swords and the 6 of swords, but it was in the reversal where the 6 of swords was here and the 10 of swords was there. So that might actually be beneficial for you to watch. What I'm getting from the Five of Pentacles, which is clarifying the High Priestess, I was saying that the High Priestess is someone who is wise and can see. What I always admire about the Five of Pentacles is that these two people who are in a season of winter, they are moving forward. And so the high priestess is able to see that even when things seem like they are you're in a stuck place, you're actually on the precipice of change. And that is what we're seeing. You have that change, which again, I definitely recommend you watch chapter 1 because they also had themes of change. And so you have two fives on the table, the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. And that is also speaking about the change and the transitions that are happening in your life, chapter 2. And so for this particular month, the High Priestess is saying, I see the conditions are not what you want them to be, but I see that you're about to go through a change. And it is going to bring loss. Anytime we are talking about death, we know that there's going to be loss because who we are and the situation that we're in can't stay the same. Death is about rebirth. And so there is loss. There is a change that has to happen. There has to be an end to an era. But look, these cards are all about forward motion. And where do you go? You're moving toward the Four of Cups is clarified by the Ace of Cups. This is exactly what the focus is. This is the ace that Spirit is giving you. What I love is that on one side is like Spirit is giving you a cup on this side, and then an Ace of Cups, Spirit is giving you a cup on this side. And so there's like your ancestors and your spirits are coming in to say, yes, we know that you're having to go through a change and it may feel difficult at times, but watch how we're blessing you from the north, the south, the east, and the west. Watch how we're coming in for you to make sure that you know that you're not alone. Watch how we come in for you to remind you that we are present, that we are active in your life, and that the places where you thought that life was just going to remain stuck, they're not. You're moving towards something beautiful. And so that is beautiful as we are all, if you're in, North America, we are moving from winter into spring, and spiritually, chapter 2, you are moving from winter into spring. That's beautiful. Let's see what other cards we can get for you all for this month ahead. We have synchronicity, and we have leadership. Okay. Leadership and synchronicity, with the bottom of the deck being follow your dreams. What I'm simply getting from that is things are going to work together for you. Things are going to work together for you, chapter 2. You just have to trust that process. What I think is beautiful about leadership is a lot of times when we are going through difficult things, we feel as though no one understands, as if, we're just out there by ourselves. And so your spirits have already come through to say that it's not true. It's not that you're alone. But what's also beautiful is that, especially with the emperor here, the hoodoo man, that represents ultimate leadership, I think that this is positioning you to be in a place to be an example to be a shining, guiding light for others so that you can give the testimony that, I started from a place of emptiness where things felt like hopeless, where things were dark. And then as I trusted the process, I came out on the other side and I received goodness and sweetness. I believe that this journey that Spirit is taking you on this month is going to help you reach your ultimate dreams. What are those dreams you have for yourself? If you're hanging out with me, if this is resonating with you, chapter 2, I want you to drop me a comment and say, all things are working for my good. Okay, let's get some prediction cards out here, and then we're going to get a final card for the end for your focus for the month. Spirit, what predictions do we have for my chapter 2s? We have one so far. Can we get 2 more, please? Okay. 1 more. This one. Okay. We have a goal-oriented person. You're working towards something. Keep your life in balance. Yeah, that's going to be key. Keeping your life in balance. And then you had seek out information that will help you. Yeah. So know this too with the Hoodoo Man. There's more than one way to resolve a problem. So as you are just moving through your life, I did say that some of you are going to be working on your finances, and I can see with the 5 of Pentacles, there may be a need to organize your life when it comes to your money. Seek out information that's going to help you get organized. If you're someone who has goals, if you're someone like me who's dealing with mental things and being neurodivergent, sometimes keeping order in your life and making these certain steps, they're just difficult. It's hard because, your brain doesn't operate like everybody else's, and that's okay. But also, where's your support? If you're someone who has a lot of goals, but you're not sure exactly how to tackle them, how to get them down, seek out leadership. Seek out someone who has the tools that you need so they can help you move through the changes. Just because, the Death card is here and the 6 of Swords is here and the 5 of Cups is here. These are cards that speak about transitions, right? But they're not always very painful. Sometimes the Death card is just to say, I'm just creating order. I'm just putting you back on the right path. Because the way that you're going right now is just not going to work. It's similar to the way that the Tower works for us. The Tower does not always mean that things are falling apart. A lot of times the Tower means that things are falling together. How can you find that balance? If you can't do it on your own, how can you hook up with someone who will help you do that? All right, so let's look at your focus for the month of April, and then we will close out. Let's move those there. Spirit, what's the focus for my chapter 2s for the month of April? What's my focus for my chapter 2s for the month of April? This one jumped out at me. Free Spirit. You have the Free Spirit key. And it says, the Free Spirit key reveals that your spirit wants to explore with childlike curiosity. Consult your inner child and childhood dreams for direction on how to sate your soul desire for adventure. Wander naked in the woods. Call out of work to astral travel to an enchanted forest. Play in the dirt and splash in the water. You may even need to be open to new love or the exciting journey of deepening intimacy with your partners. This key is your green light to follow your follies. Your soul will feel reinvigorated and you will come to enjoy your life as Spirit intended for you to do. Fly free. And I could not agree more, especially with the Follow Your Dreams card that came out here. As you are getting your house in order, as you're moving getting that spiritual cleansing and getting clearing out all of the things that were kind of holding you back. This is what happens. You become a free spirit. And then you see in the 4 of Cups and the Ace of Cups, how Spirit gives you all of this joy and all of this wonder when you least expect it. And so that's so beautiful. I love to hear all of these messages that have come forward for you. My chapter 2s. I hope that it was helpful. And I pray that you have a wonderful month ahead. We'll see you next time. Hello, Chapter 3. Welcome to your April 2023 Tarot Prediction video. I'm so excited to be doing this reading for you. We're going to start by looking at the card that's on the table. It's going to represent kind of like the high level theme that you may see playing out in your life this month. Then we're going to pull like some individual tarot cards to take a deeper look and zoom in a bit. So let's get into it. Your card for the month is the Birds card. And bring that up a little bit. It is the Lovers. And this is the Lovers card. All right. So what I'm just seeing just so clearly, this is all about you finding and spending time with people who are aligned for your path. This is you finally feeling like you belong. This is you making a choice about who belongs in your life and who makes you feel comfortable, who makes you feel safe. As I'm looking at these birds who are snuggled close, you know, a lot of times this particular card, there's a lot of romantic love or sexual love that is you know, highlighted, and that can be present as well in the Lovers card. But also, like, what I'm just seeing is like safety and security. You know, this can show up in all of our relationships, regardless of the dynamics. What does it look like to have a safe and secure relationship? What does it look like to be in community and living in homes and pods with people who really care about our well-being, who really will fight for us, who really will bring out the very best of us, who believe the best in us, and who bring out our true essence, who helps us to stare fear in the face and like send fear flying, you know? That's the kind of feeling that I'm getting from this card. It's really beautiful. I love that. Okay. So let's see what else is going to be coming in for y'all. Chapter 3 for the month of April. Even as I was just like separating the deck to shuffle, I saw the Ten of Pentacles. There it is again. So like that is exactly kind of like what I've been feeling for y'all is it just kind of is giving the Ten of Pentacles where it's like you're building stable community. Ooh, do we want all those? No, that's a little sloppy shuffling. Okay, let's go with that one. This one. Spirit, what else is coming in for my chapter 3s? And this one. Okay. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Look at that. The Lovers again. Oh, I love that. The Seven of Swords. Okay. The Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, so I'll tell you what I see, chapter 3. So I see that when it comes to relationships, you've been working on like relationships that feel good. It feels like you've been like putting your whole self and investing a lot in relationships, and it's paying off. You have the Lovers on the table twice. So it feels like the people that are around you and just the cause that you're working toward, it feels really good. I do see the Seven of Swords, but you know what's coming up for me is that it this is what I'm getting. I just heard that some of you feel like it's too good to be true. Like, you know how when things are just so easy that you feel like, all right, when's the other shoe gonna drop? That's kind of the energy I'm getting from the Seven of Swords. Is like some of y'all are feeling like it's too good to be true. It must be a trick. It must be like they must be hiding something from me. And so it feels like when those suspicions come up, because I mean, we'll look into it when I clarify to see if there's actually something that you should be concerned about. I don't get that off the back. It just feels like you are feeling that way. But it feels like when those suspicions come up, though, they set you back. Because you see how you start from the Eight of Pentacles and you're ending at the Seven. So like things are growing and moving well, and then boom, you have a moment of fear around intentions, around whether or not, and I'll say this, what I'm not getting is whether or not the fear is warranted, because it's not that, you may be feeling like, oh, I'm sorry, bump the mic. You may be feeling like I said, things are too easy. Like, nah, it can't be like this. Like, there must be something wrong. What that does is it sets you back. It sets you back a bit. And so I think that with the Lovers here twice, it is affirming, one, that you can trust your own choices. You can trust your voice. And if you're unsure, chapter 3, about the people in your life, talk to them. Talk to them. Use your voice. So I'm going to actually go ahead and clarify the Seven of Swords, because I don't get the sense that there's funny business going on, but we'll see what the cards have to say, because we want to make sure that we're giving you what you need. Because what I'm getting is like you're suspicious, like you're feeling suspicious. Can you clarify the Seven of Swords? Yeah. It's clarified by the High Priestess, and you have the Five of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So this is what I'll say. Look at that. And then underneath is the Lovers again. It feels like chapter 3, the High Priestess is here to say, you know what you know. The High Priestess is also here to say, you know how they make you feel. If we're looking at the Five of Swords and the Seven of Swords, the Five of Swords is such a contentious card where there's only one winner and two losers, which some might say would mean if this is talking about relationship, then there are three losers. Now with the clarity, there may be some people who are moving in ways that don't feel aligned with your path. That may be part of why you feel like that sets you back a bit. Because if people aren't speaking kindly to you, chapter 3, if people are not treating you with respect, if people are competing with you and using at every turn, they're like secretly competing with you, or secretly, gossiping about you, or secretly, doing all these things, it may be time to cut your losses. Of course, you have to use your own intuition. You have to use your best judgment. But because we have the Lovers here twice, and like I said, it also showed up at the bottom of this deck, I think that Spirit is very loud about who you're in relationship with. You must have people who are willing to give the same energy that you put out. There must be reciprocity here. And even if you feel like it's a step back because you have to, reassess your friend group, or reassess your, who you hang out with, even if they're family, whoever it is. Remember what I said at the beginning, you are deserving of safety and security. And if you don't have that, if someone's not showing you that, the Lovers came for you 3 times to say, you get to choose. If someone doesn't belong in your space because they're not safe for you, you get to choose. And know that even with the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles isn't a loss. It just seems like it because the growth is slower than the Eight of Pentacles. But it's still growth. You know why? Because when we prune, that is how our plants can thrive. That is how we can thrive. Okay, Spirit, do you have a clarifier for the Eight of Pentacles? Do you have a clarifier for the Eight of Pentacles? The Eight of Wands. Yeah. Yeah, the more you put into your relationships, and also not just your relationships, the more you put into yourself, the further you're going to go. No one's going to be able to hold you back because you're doing the work. You're doing the work. Let's see. Do you have a clarifier for the lovers? The lovers comes up. It's come up 3 times. Why has the lovers been here 3 times? Justice. They got to do right by you. Chapter 3. Not just that, you must do right by others too. Relationships is really important. So not only are you thinking about how you are being treated, how are they being treated? How are you treating the people in your circle? How are you ensuring that as you're doing this growth, as you're doing this, investing in these relationships, making sure that you are not showing up as someone who is being dishonest, making sure you're not showing up as someone who is stepping over people, cutting people down. You have justice and the high priestess next to each other. They're both between these pillars, right? Of support, of balance. And so if we're talking about building safety and security in our relationships, how are you contributing to that? How are you ensuring that not only are you around people who are safe, but that you are safe? That's what's important. That's the self-work in the Eight of Pentacles. Because relationships and community is really big in this group. We must do right by ourselves and by others. Because if we don't, the thing about justice is that it will come back around so that we can take the lesson again. And justice is not biased. If we're not doing the right thing, we will have to be accountable to that. And so what is the energy that we are putting out? How are we being received? That's always very key as well, as we're talking about safe and secure community. It's not always what the community can do for you, but what you can do for the community. Okay, let's see what else Spirit has for my chapter 3s. And while I'm shuffling, if this reading is resonating with you, I would love if you could drop me a comment that says, I am building safety and security. I am building safety and security. Follow your dreams. And let's see. Spiritual partnership. Yeah. Relationships. What type of relationship and partnership are you dreaming about? What are you hoping to accomplish? How are you hoping to grow? What are you wanting to build? That's so key for you, chapter 3. In this month, this is your area of focus. It's interesting too that the relationship is a partnership that's spiritual. So making sure that there's spiritual health, spiritual wellness that is being woven into this partnership and these partnerships in this community. That's also very important. Let's get some prediction cards and then we'll close with a area of focus. Spirit, what predictions do you have? Oh, okay. Predictions do you have for my chapter 3s? We have one card here on the table. Moon for changes in your life. Ashe. Yeah. And then let's get one more. Spirit, what do you have for coming in for April for chapter 3? Oh, okay. We had a few. All right. So we have obstacles to overcome. Yeah, definitely so. But it says that you're on the right path regarding an aspect in your life. So you're on the right path, but there's still some things to iron out. And that makes sense because with some of the sharp cards, I call the Five of Swords, the Seven of Swords kind of sharp. And then you also had Justice. So yeah, definitely some things to iron out. It says you are slowly but surely getting ahead. So whatever healing is necessary for you, my chapter 3s, I see it coming in for you. I see it coming in. It may feel like it's slow, but that's okay. We got the Seven of Pentacles showing that it's slow, right? But it's still coming in, and it also says dealings or relationship with a woman. So if there is any type of conflict, or if there's any kind of relationship situation, I could see it being related to a woman or non-binary person. I want you to take it slow. Like I said, with all these sharp cards on the table, sometimes that there's a need for healing, especially if we're talking about relationships and conflict and accountability and making sure that we're safe. Because we know that even as we're building relationships and building communities of safety, that doesn't mean that harm will never occur. And so wherever there's an opportunity for harm, there must also be a place for us to heal. And so if that's you, chapter 3, if you need some healing, I pray that comes toward you in April, and that you start to see that change come into your life. All right, let's see. Last card. What is your focus for the month of April? Okay, Spirit, what is the focus for all of those in chapter 3? What's their focus for the month of April? Just one, please. This one, it says worthy. Worthy. Worthy can be a word we resist because the capitalist patriarchy tells us from a young age that worth is something we must prove. Your worth is proven by your existence. You need labor no more to feel deserving of your destiny. The worthy key says the block between you and your highest, truest path at present is that you need to foster the belief that you are inherently worthy and starve any worries or doubts about your mission on this planet. By strengthening your sense of self-worth with daily choices to self-worship, you strengthen your heart against distractions and obstacles by claiming what's coming to you as here with you already, simply because it's your desire. And so that's beautiful, chapter 3. And so I say to you that, as I said, I saw you building safe and secure relationships and community, and I saw you desiring that. And if that is true for you, I want you to know that you're worthy. That whatever obstacles you have to overcome, you will, because you are on the right path. Healing is here, and you're worthy already. I hope that this has been helpful to you and that you have a beautiful month ahead. We'll see you next time.